decided to try it out, see if the GoPro mic works. And that was rusty. That the mic will work once and then it won't work again. So I mean, this is the first try. Got to see how it works. Wonder how many bikes we're gonna see today. Normally there's a lot, especially any time that it's nice and warm. All the bikes are out. So we're coming up to the town of Merlin. Population probably 500 and a squirrel, maybe a couple chickens. But they have a lot of, they got rafting. There's a couple rafting places because the river's right over here. Go down the Rogue River. Rifle Cafe, I've never been there. I don't think I'll eat there with the rainbow coloring on letters. It's kind of weird. I think they have like 3 rafting places, 1 Mexican food spot, 3 dispensaries, auto mechanic right there, 2 bars. There's a dispensary. And then like 10 thrift store. I don't know if I want to ride towards those clouds. Those are pretty black. Wasn't expecting that. Thought it was going to be a fun little ride. We might not make it the whole way. I didn't bring any leathers or jacket or anything. It's nice and warm. Just got out of the shop. It's probably like 99 inside the weld shop. See, here's Oregon. Nice blue skies. Black. And then nice blue skies behind it. There's one of the bars. Actually, like that one used to have karaoke. Pretty fun to go there and forget how to sing. So I've been thinking about what kind of channel I've been wanting to do, you know. I don't take my bike to the shop. I just did the fork seals, put progressive fork springs in, powder coated the rims at work, did the bars, put the cables on, you know. I messed around with the compensator. The compensator came loose, so I was reading a lot of things about the compensators coming loose, so I bought the compensator eliminator kit. But then, so I pulled the primary off, checked the tension on the chain, it was fine. So went to turn the bolt that holds the nut that holds the primary or the compensator on, and I spun it off with my hands, and it's not supposed to work like that. So it was kind of jerky at lower speeds, so it would like, you'd go boom, 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 and I could just hear it, you know. It sounded really bad, and something coming from the engine. And I know Harleys make a lot of noises, but it wasn't making that noise the time before riding it. So pulled that off, put new primary oil, primary cover gasket, Well, I took the compensator off, the bolt, cleaned everything out with brake clean, or choke. I think I used carb cleaner, and put probably like 7 drops of red Loctite on there. After I dried everything, I used a Q-tip because I couldn't get the sprocket off. You can't get the sprocket off without taking the clutch assembly off. I didn't want to deal with that, so I just tried to clean it as good as possible, put it back on with the red Loctite, torqued it down. I put it at, my torque wrench went to, I think it was 175 foot-pounds. So I torqued it down to that, and then I put my breaker bar on there and turned it a little, tried to turn a little bit more. It didn't really turn much, but I just don't want that shit coming loose. So now I have a eliminator kit if anything ever does happen. But I also, when I got this bike, I got it from a guy that had stage 4 lung cancer, and he was just trying to get rid of the bike, so he had some money to help pay for, you know, whatever the expenses are going to be. And he had all these extra parts and helmets, gloves, all kinds of stuff that he also gave to me because he was just getting rid of all his stuff, you know, selling everything. He's real sick. Yeah, so I got all this stuff. I got another tank, I got another front fender, rear fender, 2 seats, like 3 sets of handlebars, 3 sets of different exhausts, and yeah, I didn't really use much of what he had, but there's a couple good things. I'm just more of, when I got it, it looked completely stock, except it had little 10-inch mini apes on it. Didn't have the fairing on there. The rims were just the regular mag wheels. It had like the grandpa looking stock Dyna seat, and so I got a Bitwell seat, the Bitwell Atlas seat. I love it. Well, I love the look of it, but long rides, not so much. Hurts your butt. So it's a lot more narrow. One thing I did like is it's more narrow, but once you get about an hour and a half, 2 hours, your tailbone is throbbing. And I had yeah, so the seats, it's not too bad for short rides. I mean, if you're taking breaks and stuff, it ain't too bad. But I went a couple weekends ago, we went to the coast. We rode in from Oregon into California, went through the redwoods, and we stopped about halfway through, right after the California border, just to, you know, let my butt rest and take a break. I was riding with a few other people, 2 people on Dynas, an 07 Dyna, a 2010 Dyna, and Street Glide, 2014 Street Glide. That thing is awesome. That 2014 Street Glide, one day, man, one day. But my chick she doesn't like the looks of them. Says it looks like a grandpa bike, but I told her, man, when you're on the back of that, it's like sitting on a recliner. The guy's wife was asleep on the back, and he doesn't cruise, he rides the piss out of that thing. We're hauling butt on twisties like 30 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour twisties. We didn't go less than 50, you know, upwards of 90 some of the times. And on the way there, we were just cruising, you know. It was my first time riding that road, so we were just cruising it. And then on the way back, the guy in the 2014 Street Glide was up front, and man, he's like a freaking steamroller. Anytime a car is going slow, right on their ass, you know, revving, gets them to pull right over. It was nice. It was a good ride on the way back. And his wife was on the back, and he's got the full, you know, touring pack on the back. So he's got the big backrest and the trunk, and she's sleeping, and we're all I don't know, I told his wife, I was like, man, you got some trust. My chick would be choking me out, telling me to slow down. So we'll start to see some of the river. There's some rapids over here. There's a lot of campgrounds. I mean, a lot of places to go to the river. You just gotta try them all out and find one that you like, because there's so many choices. Every weekend you go to a new one, and they're all different. There's a couple that are like real sandy, real nice, sandy. And then there's other ones that are just rocks, where you can't even get to the actual river, and the kids don't want to go on it and stuff. There's supposed to be a spot on this road where you go and there's a waterfall. I haven't gone to it yet. My mom and then went with my sister and stuff and got some pictures. It looks pretty cool. I've ridden this road a lot, but haven't really stopped. It's a really fun road to ride. I'm wondering how the mic is picking up with the noise of the exhaust. It's pretty loud. I'm trying to just be mellow on it. There's the river, right on the river. It's crazy to think, like, I came from, you know, Central California, like Tulare County and San Luis Obispo County. I grew up in San Luis Obispo County, but I lived in Tulare County for a little bit, and everything's like dead there. Everything's brown. You know, you got oak trees and stuff on San Luis Obispo County. I mean, San Luis Obispo County is not so bad, but when you get to the valley, it's really dead. And here, it's so green. I've been here, you know, almost 6 years now, but it's so green, and the fire season is insane. Like, there gets so much smoke that there's, you know, mask advisories. You know, they want you to wear a mask so that you're not breathing all the smoke. I mean, I think the second year I was here, it was a really bad fire season, and I went to bring my kids down here, and it was so smoky, like, you couldn't see 20 feet in front of you. Needless to say, we didn't go to the river that day. We just went home, and it's like, I don't want my kids breathing all this smoke, you know? But, yeah, it gets really, really smoky. And some of the fires are really big, and they're out in the middle of nowhere, like in mountain areas and stuff, so they just let it burn, and they like make fire blocks around it and stuff, but they'll just let it burn and wait for, like, if it's towards the end of the season, like where it might start raining, they just wait for the rain to put it out. let it burn and put the rain out. But there's like, one thing is there's a lot of, since there's a lot of fires and stuff, there's a lot of old burned areas, you know, and that stuff is dry. That wood's already been basically seasoned, you know what I mean? So you get the lightning and stuff, it's just gonna come and burn it back through, you know, and it'll be a lot hotter and it'll burn a lot faster, you know. So here's the Gleese Resort. I don't think they're open this time of year, but there's a boat ramp right there. They have a restaurant here. I've never been to the restaurant. Then you got some of the people that live right on the river. This is like a housing section, I guess. But it's a lot of retirees and stuff, I think. But it'd be nice to live right on the river. Even when it gets real hot, man, you just walk right down to the river. That'd be so nice. But what they have during the summer, they have this thing called the Hellgate. It's like a Hellgate jet boat tours. And I think it's like you fit like 150 people in these jet boats, and they have two Chevy motors that patrol, or that, you know, propel the boat, and they're not going slow. I mean, on the way, so they go down. You start in the middle of town, you get on the boats, and they go like 5 boats at a time. So like intervals of I think it's like 30 minutes, you know. But so you go, and there's like a tour guide. So the tour guide is like, you know, making jokes and telling you about the river, about the animals, and just different, you know, being a tour guide, basically. So you go down, and there's a dinner one, which I went on the dinner one. I think there's like a breakfast one and a dinner one, but there's like a resort, some resort right on the river that only you can get to through the Hellgate tours. I mean, it must be like owned by them or something. But it's, for the dinner one, it's all you can eat. Or wait, no, you get your food, and then it's all you can drink, wine and beer and whatever else you want to drink. But yeah, I went with my chick, you know, and we sat right on the front row. And on the way there, it was all quiet, you know, we're just listening to the guy, and he's, you know, telling you things about whatever, the floods that, I mean, I guess there were floods like where the water was really high, like in 1900 or whatever, I don't know what the hell, 1901, 1921 or something. But yeah, the Great Flood and stuff. So yeah, on the way there, it's all quiet and stuff. And then after dinner, everyone's had their drinks, so everyone's, you know, riled up. And then on the way back, you're not going slow. You're normally paired with another boat, so you're just riding back, and they're hauling butt. Like, you're freaking it feels like you're drifting around these turns. And I guess these boats can drive on less than like 3 inches of water or something like that, or maybe it's 6 inches. But I mean, you can see the rocks right under the surface. You can see the water rolling over the rocks, and we're going right through it, skipping right across it like it's nothing. And yeah, so we started going back. Then we get into like the open sections, and you're right with another boat. Then they do 360, so they freaking like push it out, push it back in, and then whip it around. and it dumps the nose, and I get freaking completely covered in water. Luckily, I left my phone in the car, otherwise my phone would have been soaked. But I was drenched from head to toe, completely drenched. But it was so fun, you know, and of course I was had a pretty good buzz going, which makes everything, you know, a lot more enjoyable, especially everyone on the boat was out in the same boat, you know. We're all in the same boat, you know, just having had all you can drink and all that wine or whatever. But there's like, you know, people that look like school teachers and stuff, and they're like screaming and just like, you know, you always get a couple of those drunk moms that don't get out very much, and they're just had maybe a whole bottle of wine to themselves. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really enjoyable. I want to do it again. But yeah, this is Galice Road. So as you can see, this isn't maintained by the county, so there's no lines. This is just another part. I mean, I don't, it said it's something back there. I didn't read the sign. I've read it before, but it's like something like it's not a Josephine County maintained road, but it looks pretty nice. I don't know. This is a lot nicer than most roads around here, so if they don't have to maintain it and it looks this good, then all more power to them. So what I'm gonna do is, I always ride to this boat ramp. There's a boat ramp at the end of this Hellgate Canyon, what they call it. And at the beginning,